Well, so they're going to do all that themselves. So you don't have to give them a market study. That's for you in terms of identifying, and so you want to reverse engineer the whole thing. So the first thing in this business you want to do if you're going to go after this kind of stuff is you want to start networking with who's the buyer going to be. So you want to get to know who's the buyer for multifamily land, who are the developers that are going to be looking for this, and you want to talk to them, find out what they're looking for, and they'll tell you. They'll say, hey, what market are you in, Jeff?
We're in the Texas markets.
Okay, so DFW, Austin, yeah. So San Antonio, whatever. So you go to the developers that are doing multifamily in those markets, call them up, say, hey, this is Jeff. I invest in land. I primarily focus on, entitlement flips for developers. What are you looking for? Are you expanding? What's your criteria? And they'll tell you, hey, I want to be in DFW over here in this area. I look for this many acres so I can get this many units. If you got something, give me a call. So developers need you guys. We're always looking for land. Generally, we have a team and we're farming vacant land ourselves, but we have very specific criteria. We can tell you exactly what we're looking for. So that can really shorten what you have to do. And I'm going to do my own market study. So all I need is you found a piece of land that may or may not be zoned, may or may not be entitled. I don't really care. I'm going to do that. I just want to know where the land is that's available for sale. So so you just want to look at, where is it located? What's surrounding the property? Is it surrounded by, all residential, commercial, industrial, mixed, whatever. So first thing is, would an apartment building work here? Is that somewhere somebody's going to want to live? What's the demand drivers for people to want to live there? So is there, office, is it somewhere near, major artery, major city? Is it maybe 5 miles outside of a major city hub, and it's somewhere people would commute to work? So you just got to think from that standpoint, are people going to want to live here? Because again, just because it's zoned multifamily doesn't mean that's the best use of it if it's right smack in the middle of a, residential neighborhood or, which could work. But are the neighbors going to want that, or if it's in an industrial park, so that's the first step to kind of look at that in terms of understanding, is that somewhere people are going to want to live once it's built? And then again, in that area, there's going to be developers. So you can contact developers and, see what they're looking for and where they're building. And that's the other thing is you can, contact the local municipalities and find out what's in the development pipeline there. Where are projects that are in the planning stage? And, sometimes that's on their website. They list projects that are, in the planning process, or they can direct you to where that is. And then, what's under construction, so you can kind of find that out and see what's being built where, because there may be something being built right down the street, mile down the street, 5 miles, you want to kind of know those things as well.
Right.
Well, so you have to decide what you're going to do. How big is the parcel?
72 acres.
Okay. So the first question was, from a homeowner, who maintains the land, the road, common area, all that. So a PUD, is just a planned unit development. That's all that stands for. And there's a couple of different ways to do a PUD. Planned unit development can just be mixed use, and you got a bunch of random, fee simple, single family lots, commercial parcels, whatever. Or it could be a condo, land condo, where all the people own is the, pad that the house sits on, and then everything else is maintained by the community common area. A lot of different ways to do a PUD. So you got to figure out which way you're going to do that. But at the end of the day, you're just creating an association that the developer manages and controls until, a certain point where like 51% of the lots are sold or whatever, and then you turn it over to the association. So the developer creates the condo docs, the PUD docs, creates the association, manages it until you get to a point to where it's all turned over and you're no longer what's called the declarant for that subdivision. And then the homeowner association takes everything over from there and those types of things. So that's just a process. But, so really what you have to decide is, what are you shooting for in terms of what you're going to develop, and then what's going to be the value of that. So you have to have some sort of idea of what you're going to do before you enter into that land contract, at least at a very minimum. And then you need to make sure that what you're looking to do, again, is going to be appropriate. So, where's the nearest, so whatever it is you're thinking of building from a commercial standpoint, where's the nearest resources there? Like if you want to do a grocery store, fast food, all those types of things, where is that already existing that these people would go to that you're going to be competing with? And is there enough rooftops in general to support, because your little development alone is not going to be big enough to support a fast food restaurant. You're going to need thousands of cars a day going by that location. And to be able to attract, any kind of a franchisee or something, you need to understand the demographics they look for. 30,000 cars a day, certain amount of income, certain amount of rooftops, 1, 3, 5 miles, that kind of thing. So you want to look at all that. and then start thinking about all the different uses if you're going to do some commercial, that could potentially go there, medical, dental, those types of things a lot of times can be more attractive than, some sort of fast food or retail type use, or you might need a grocery store, you might need a fast food, So you just need to understand that. And then once you understand it, you kind of think, okay, I feel like these are the needs, this is what we're going to do. Then you kind of tie your price to that. And you say, well, if I'm going to get 100 lots, I'm going to get, 10 acres of commercial, those types of things. Well, that 10 acres of commercial is worth, 100,000 an acre. I get, 100 lots, each lot's worth 20 grand developed. You got to back out your development costs, get back to a raw land cost and say, okay, I can pay you, X amount of dollars, Mr. Seller, as long as I can get all these things. If they're looking for a premium, market value for their land, if it's just, 100 something acres and it's, $1,000 an acre or whatever, then it doesn't really matter. You're going to be able to get, worst case scenario, you're going to be able to get your value if you just cut it up into 10 acre parcels and sold them off. You probably be okay.